Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Class of Cinematics. And I'm joined as always with my co-host Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo.
Yeah, just want to say rest in peace, DJ Clark Kent. But also, this is going to be the last of our Halloween month episodes, man. So today, we're going to be talking about In the Mouth of Madness by John Carpenter, man, the OG legend. And in this film, when horror novelist Sutter Cane goes missing, insurance investigator John Trent scrutinizes the claim made by his publisher, Jackson Harglow, and endeavors to retrieve a yet-to-be-released manuscript and ascertain the writer's whereabouts. Accompanied by the novelist's editor, Linda, and disturbed by nightmares from reading Kane's other novels, Trent makes an eerie nighttime trek to a supernatural town in New Hampshire. This film was released in February 3rd, 1995, co-written by John Carpenter and Michael DeLuca. We got a cast here as well. So let's start with this. We got Sam Neill, aka trading in his bash for dinosaurs to go fight supernaturals and look for authors.
Yeah, being a fraud insurance investigator. What a tonal switch.
We've also got Julie Carmen, who plays the publisher's assistant. Jürgen Prochnow, who plays the missing author Sutter Cane. We got David Warner, John Glover, the OG Bernie Casey. Peter Jason is also in this. Frances Bay pops up. She has an interesting role in this. Conrad Berg Schneider and Chuck Campbell pops up in here. He looks familiar.
And Willem von Homburg, most people know as Vigo the Carpathian.
That's my man, yo. Ghostbusters 2.
And just something real quick about this release date. This could be an indicator of how the tone of this show's gonna go. It actually was first released December 10th, 1994 in Italy. Did not drop until February 3rd, 1995 in the States.
Yeah, we just get this out the way now. I did not have a great time watching this film. I think I confused this with Lord of Illusions or something. And then I was start watching and I realized I've never seen this before. But the crazy thing about it, I do like the premise of the story, man. It's kind of cool, like, to see this kind of character. He is a fraud investigator. So it's a cool scene in the beginning where Sam Neill is investigating. He's in the office with Bernie, and this guy's trying to pull the wool, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm coming here to pick up the check. And he's like, hold on, we got to go over a couple things. And then they show him pictures of his wife and things that he said, I guess he lost in a fire. His business burnt down or something like that.
He set a fire, but then his wife is wearing the clothes of items that were supposed to be lost.
Stuff that was in the claim. And then on top of that, they got another picture of another woman who's
he's cheating on his wife with wearing shit. So my man, Sam Neill, this is where he bosses up. He's like, bro, I'm going to give you two words of advice. One, if you're going to pull a caper, don't involve your wife. Yeah. Two, if you involve your wife, don't cheat on her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool. So we meet Sam, and Sam, his characterization, he's cool, man. Like, a little dickish though. Like, he's good at his job, but I feel like he's also
pompous.
Yeah. He has this smugness that I didn't really like, you know. So it was kind of difficult to really identify with him during this film for me. Yeah. But that's his attitude. He doesn't believe nothing unless he sees it himself, which makes it interesting that they send him down this path that leads to all this crazy supernaturalness.
Well, you know, in another way, they really kind of enhance this arrogance that he has is because he's so good at being this investigative insurance fraud guy.
He thinks he can figure everything out.
Well, he wants to do it, not pro bono. He wants to do it solo. Like, he doesn't want to be attached to any particular company. He wants people to kind of just, hire me at will and everything. Yeah. So he feels really good about himself and what he's doing. And it's wild because
he's in his mind, he's this hired gun expert guy.
Yeah, like some kind of private eye, like the wild west of insurance fraud.
I'm the best of the best.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you can't sign me.
Yeah, you better always have that neck brace on. I catch you out there playing golf. Yeah, I'm taking pictures. But and it's cool because as his next case is brought to the forefront, they bring him into this I guess publishing company, and they're like, our top flight author, this guy that's supposed to be bigger than Stephen King himself, selling all these books and doing all these things, books turning into movies. This guy Sutter Cane is just a man amongst children, so to speak. And for some reason, he's gone missing. So instead of calling the cops, instead of calling the mass amount of people that you could call to track this guy down. They call insurance fraud, man.
That's kind of interesting though. The play that they played, the makeup of this author, he's real secretive. They don't even have his address. They communicate him through another party whenever they want to relay messages to him. So I can see it being a little difficult to track him down initially. So the cops will probably have the same resources that you got initially. And the way I know police work, man, they're not going to put a lot into this right away.
Absolutely.
So it probably is better to go this private eye route, to get things done.
And the way that they're able to use this insurance investigator is because he owes them a manuscript, like for his next upcoming novel. So they're
invested in
paid you for this.
Yeah, they're invested
you owe us. In
his whereabouts.
So give us this. And what kind of, like you already spoke on the concept.
There's some cool shit in the concept of it, though.
The one thing that I like about this film is the concept because, as we navigate through this, we're seeing that we're watching a story about a story. You know what I'm saying? And as the film really unfolds into the deeper layers of the film, you really see that. And, it's wild because as Sam Neill really gets invested into this case, he's also starting to realize that there's something kind of wild going on because anyone who's reading these books by this author, Sutter Cane, they also descend into madness. You know what I'm saying?
Not all of them, because he's selling a lot of books, but a lot of them.
They call them like the weaker ones, or the more susceptible.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting with the story.
And and one thing I like about that is because we have a lot of films where we watch the descent into madness, and a lot of times it revolves around some kind of possession or paranormal aspect, or just somebody just snaps there at the end of their rope and they just snap. Whereas this one kind of focuses more on mass hysteria, while this one man is seeing the mass hysteria kind of from the outside looking in, and he doesn't want to go crazy himself.
That's one of the things that work for me is that world building, because there's rides now and there's book releases and things like so it's like, and it also it indicates to me that there's something else going on in this world. A lot of it is attached around his author, but like I said, there's big civil unrest. Some of it is built around his author, but also it's crazy. People are wilding out in the streets, man.
And
like as this stuff is going on. So it gives you this idea that there's something, maybe an evil entity or forces at work.
Because also the way that they are perceived, they look different. Like they got these glowing crystal blue eyes, and some of them, their faces are, distorted, almost monstrous looking, where I think that's kind of like, their way of trying to, I guess, show us as audience that these people are, they're transforming into something else because of this hysteria that they're going through, this craziness. But it's yet again, great concept, but was not properly executed in a way where it really makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like where this thing starts to rail off is, they hit the road. They go looking for where they think this guy might be in this area, in this town, looking for him. And that's kind of cool initially. They arrive into a town. Like this thing has really big Lovecraftian vibes. And that's one of the hallmarks of a lot of older Lovecraft films. It will be a stranger coming into a strange part of the country and poking around and encountering, places that are mostly empty, but except for a few strange characters and things in there. And then there's another evil entity like Cthulhu. This is definitely playing off of those mythologies that were set up by H.P. Lovecraft.
Absolutely.
Like the way he's exploring things and running into stuff. So it does definitely have that vibe, but I'm with you. It's the execution, because like once you're in that town a little bit for like the first 5 minutes, this is cool. All right, what's here? And then it just,
especially and what really works for me, it's right before they get to the town. That ride, they really, it's like the roller coaster's going up. They're driving in the dark, and the next thing you know, there's this kid, he's riding, and he's like, I can't stop, I can't get out. And the next thing you know, he looks like a Doc from
I thought that
Back to the Future.
I thought it was John Carpenter for a second, but then I realized I was like, he's not that old when this was
Nah.
made, but he looks like that guy on that bike now.
I thought Doc was trying to get the lightning rod to hit it bike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then next thing you know, like the car's like flying, and there's a lot of cool imagery going on.
That was fun. But once they like, it's so crazy.
But once they get there, it's like okay, it's like you go all the way up on the roller coaster, and then and there's no drop. You just go
because this motherfucker sleep. Shorty's flying. She's driving in the sky. Hits this covered bridge and wakes up the next day. And honestly, you could turn the movie off after that. This is the best it's going to get, bro.
My dude, she's the nicest driver ever. Because if all that shit's happening when I'm driving and my passengers sleep, I'm waking you up. Hey, get up. There's some tripped out shit happening.
I can't be the only one seeing this craziness, bro.
You either need to see this too, or let me know I'm going crazy and we need to switch. You need to drive.
It's hilarious, man. So it becomes this thing. All right, like I said, man, they get to the town and they're poking around, and I think the concepts were great, but it just falls apart for me. Like honestly, I'm confused by the ending. Even when we get to that, I'm like, yo, what happened in this movie?
You know,
I'm just
so okay. So I'm just spitballing here, but what I think personally. So I watched this movie about 5 times this week.
Why?
And yeah, it was a ride. Okay, it was a ride. But so what I'm gathering, what I'm thinking is that the people that were going crazy by reading the works of Sutter Cane, they actually went crazy because they realized that they were characters in the novels, and that drove them crazy. So then, of course, when Sam Neill at the end, you know, that's why, Linda Stiles, like when he's asking her to go on the quest after, we get to the third phase and he's like, come with me. And she's like, no, I can't. I've already read the end of the book. She knew that her outcome was predetermined. She already knew what her character arc was and that she was, null and void at that point. Whereas then Sam Neill goes back to what he thinks is reality because that was written for his character arc. And then he realizes that the manuscript that he was on the hunt for, he actually already delivered. It's been transformed into a successful book and turned into a movie. And then ultimately at the end, after the end of the world happens, he's watching a movie of what he just went through. And, then that's when he really descends into madness. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that they really, overhit.
Because it kind of starts off with him in the mental ward and this feels like him explaining how he got there. And it ends kind of in the same place.
I kind of came to this, like I said, I watched this movie a lot, this week. And also, one thing you notice about the dialogue is they overuse the word reality a lot to kind of emphasize that what they are going through is real, but then it's also like, is it really real or is it your just perception of what you believe is real, and that's when he really starts laughing because there was a part where they first get to the hotel in Hobbs End and he's knocking on the little desk. He's like, see this desk? It's reality. And he starts laughing because he realizes that none of it was real. He was just a character in the story.
Yeah. Speaking of characters, I mean, we kind of got Sam out the way, man. He's this cocky, super, I'm the best, investigator out here. But I thought, Linda Stiles' Julie was interesting as the assistant, from the publisher. And it's crazy because, like I said, the direction of this film feels wonky as hell, bro. Because when we first meet her, I swear to God, she was flirting with this dude, bro.
Yes.
It's like, it's an awkward scene. I was like, I had to rewind it. Yo, did she just lick the end of her glasses and she's taking them off?
Yeah.
Like kind of, but then immediately it's like, I don't want nothing to do with you other than this professional
Then she hit him with the Heisman.
I'm like, yo, this is so crazy. What is
Mixed
happening?
signals, man.
Or is he supposed to be the one? Maybe in his brain is playing tricks on him. Like, or maybe that's how the story was written.
But then
she's flirting with me. She clearly wants it.
Later on when they're driving, she starts kissing him. She was like, yeah, he's writing me to kiss you right now. And she's trying to attack him when they're driving.
That is wild. Their relationship is funny. It's goofy, but it's weird because she's kind of pushing him in a way. It's kind of like the Mulder Scully thing, but flip the roles reversal. Instead of her being Scully, she's being more like Mulder and trying to open his mind to what's going on and what they're seeing. That the possibility is like it's not just black and white. It's just not what our eyes and ears are seeing. Some
seeing.
things are beyond that. And she's the one that points out too initially that, look out the window. Like that castle.
You're going to
scene.
see the church.
Yeah.
Because you looked out the wrong window, my guy.
This is in the book. And I'm like, this is crazy.
And that's the thing too. Like, she's definitely the one that's steering the boat.
That's the first few minutes in the town. And after that, the thing
she's definitely the one steering the boat. And see, I didn't grasp this from the movie. I actually had to read up on it. But they said that initially she was sent on this journey with Sam Neill's character was John. It was pretty much just a publicity stunt. So we go to Hobbs End to, so he can get a first-hand glance at, Sutter Cane's area where he grows up at, and then can come back and talk about it and then help increase book sales. Yeah. Now, did you get that? I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
I mean, if that was the case, no, it seemed like, when they were driving, they went through some kind of portal warp or something.
Yeah, dude, it's clearly a different part of town. There's no town that could exist where you see this few people walking around. This is clearly something's happening here. And then the kids, she's the only one that sees the kids. So like I said, man, this part is cool because it is explaining, it's sticking to the Lovecraftian stuff. And it's actually decent for the most part, direction and writing, but then this thing takes a dive off the deep end.
Off the deep end. Like with cinder blocks strapped to your ankles. And one more thing I'll say about Julie Carmen, who played Linda Stiles, she also plays Regine Dandridge in Fright Night 2. And she's a very good Dandridge vampire in Fright Night 2.
I didn't see part 2 of that.
Oh man, you're missing out. Yeah. It's underrated, but very, very good, very fun. But so moving through this cast, man, Jürgen Approach him now.
Approach him later.
Exactly. Somewhere in between. But he's the one who plays Sutter Cane, and he was not he didn't leave a memorable impression in my mind of his depiction of this magnified character that we got. Yeah. But what really worked for me for his character was the underlying connection between him and Stephen King. John Carpenter wrote that, him.
Yeah, it's kind of spoofing him a little bit.
Him and Stephen King are actually really good friends. And, Carpenter also directed Christine, which was, a book by Stephen King. And so
one of King's best adaptations,
Yes. And there's very close correlation to how, Sutter Cane is perceived in this film, with him being this ultimate horror writer that can just write these books endlessly and keep pushing them out as if he's driven by some kind of alternate force. And then even where Hobbs End is kind of in New England, where Stephen King always kind of reverts back to that. He's proud of his hometown. Stephen King references Castle Rock, and then in this is Hobbs End. There's a lot of little things.
Yeah. This feels like a Castle Rock type area.
It does.
Man, it's so it pisses me off because, like I said, man, I'm watching this. And, I got my critical eye on, but also I try to be a little bit open and optimistic. And I'm like, this could have been it could have been great. He was almost there.
There's so much potential. So much potential. But you know what? The reason why I didn't just get overly lost in that is because I've seen potential in a lot of things before in my life, in films and in real life. And sometimes you just gotta see things for what they are. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And this, like I said, when it comes down to the execution, it's like, okay, the way it was written, you hit on these heavy Lovecraft themes, and we get that. And the way the film is delivered, we see how it's being translated, but it's like you're going from A to F without filling in the blanks. It's almost like they're overthinking. You know what I'm saying? For this to be a psychological thriller, you got it. It taps into the psyche, and you definitely can feel that it's more psychological than horror. But when you take this approach, you gotta always make it make sense.
It's this weird approach to this because I've seen a film like this where you've got the author being the main character, and things that they are writing have come into life around them. This is a different take. Now someone else is seeing, author writing things that are coming to life around them. And I don't know. I think it just does a poor job of wedging these characters into this mystery and defining what the mystery ultimately is.
Like,
man.
cause I mean, if you're going, if the end goal is, okay, these are characters that are being written, as they're going through this course path, and then they start to go crazy because they realize this. At some point in the film, it should have showed Sutter Cane writing them, and you can kind of have a back and forth, like he's writing, okay, and then so and so goes up the steps, and then you see him walking up the steps. Let us see as viewers that these are puppets at the end of his string. You know what I'm saying? Something. I
did like the Doberman scene, bro. That joint was great. I was like, yo,
I read
like 12 Dobermans,
bro. And all of the people that the trainers got injured. Those Dobermans were straight killers.
Yeah.
And then there was
like, how did they handle these? Because you could tell that they've got the arm things on, that the dogs are biting, but it's like,
tell the dogs is killers. Some of them had missing teeth. There was one Doberman, shout out the 3-legged Doberman. He runs the other way, and they lost him for a couple days until after the scene was shot. They did find him. So he was getting low with his 3 legs. So shout out to him.
You know what else pissed me off about this movie, man? I just wanted him to hose off his caddy so badly, bro.
Yes,
that was like, I'm like, yo, this is a nice ride, but then this is dusty as hell. It's like
dusty ass L Dog. You don't do that. They don't even make Eldorados.
It's like
he
rode this joint through the desert, and it's just like, I was like, damn, yo, that car kind of explains the state of this film, bro.
Yes, dusty as fuck.
Yes, it's hard, man. Like, it's hard to speak on much more. I mean, you get into the special effects and stuff, but it's like, there are glimpses of good things, man. Like I said, man, they play around with the Cthulhu mythos, the tentacles and all that, but they're brief glimpses, man, and they really do a terrible job of tying that in. Unless you know about Lovecraftian type horror, that's you're gonna be like, yo, why is an alien in the middle of this now? Like, it doesn't make no sense.
There's the one part where like the little children, they're all distorted, and they're like, but they don't give us no more of that arc either. Like the one little girl's like telling Styles, she's like, yeah, you're my mom now, and today's Mom's Day. Yeah, dig it. And then they get away from that. Like you said, all of the aliens, creatures, they look cool. But like you said, they just seem
there's no
out
context.
Of place.
Yeah, there's no context. They haven't set up anything. All we know. I don't know, bro. It's like you get the movie, your POV, it shifts, that could be manipulated, but we know less than the characters know even.
Yes.
And, they're bumbling around, and I don't know.
And we bumbling around with they dragging us behind them.
I'm not trying to figure out, like, I don't understand, bro.
Stop banging me into the wall.
Like I said, man, there's clearly something afoot here, and they do a poor job of explaining. And in some movies, I know the hook is you don't know what happens, but even that's done well. This is like, I'm lost.
But
what is this? I felt like I had to read a wiki or look up one of them YouTube videos.
Yes.
The ending of In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes. Explain it to me. Give me reasoning. Because like you said, I mean, even with the films where there's not an over explanation, I don't mind that, or they leave it up to the viewer. Yeah. At least everything up until that point is cohesive and it makes sense. Yeah. With this one, like, one of the things that just really upset me, there's a part where Styles, she meets Sutter Cane and she realizes she's a character, and he writes her to start kissing him, and then she's like starts, like kind of rubbing on his head. He has a little alien on the back of his head, or a little one of those creatures on the back of his head. Right then and there, they could have dove into the fact that now he's being, kind of controlled by by this creature arc, and they just could have completely shifted gears for this film. But we don't even go back to that. The next time we see him, he's telling John, like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what's happening. And then he rips himself apart like he's a book and opens up another portal. It's like, okay, look, man, it's kind of like, this film kind of reminds me of like when you make like Saturday goulash, where you just got like all of the leftovers of stuff that you made through the week, and you put it in a pot and mix it together. Yeah. All these wonderful things that we're saying about this film. I just got to bring up the fact that it pretty much, to nobody's surprise, broke even in the box office. It got an $8 million budget, and it pulled back $8.9 million worldwide.
Probably did all right just out of curiosity of fans and
well,
video
because
rental.
of name attachment.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
said, I mean, most of the time, you know what I'm saying, and us as movie goers, movie lovers, we are, you know, susceptible to, you know, being, you know,
a little biased.
drawn
That
in.
can be done.
Yeah. Any Stephen King adaptation, I'm going to watch it just because.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything that had Wes Craven attached to it, I'm going to check it out. Carpenter, I'm going to check it out. You know, all of these. I mean, because when you look at these catalogs, especially when it comes to Carpenter, I mean, this list that he has, I mean, there is a lot of grand slams on there, but then there are a lot of like strikeouts when you're trying to bunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, how do you,
Yeah, man. Yeah, because Wes Craven was coming to mind, and then I was thinking, what was that one thing he did with the damn vampires, man? He did a. It was.
I think it was called Vampires, the one with James Woods.
No, actually, that is Carpenter.
That's
that vampire. But actually, people love that film. I remember I had it. I thought it was
approach.
okay.
It was a decent approach.
I didn't love it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. My bad. But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing, man. I'm worried of that, man, because like I feel like there's a lot, at least with some of the greater film fan community, and now we're in the era where everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a blog and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people defer too much favor to their favorites, and these people, in their eyes, can't have no flaws, you know. And there's going to people be out here that defend this film because they're Carpenter completionists, and yeah, I can't recommend you watch this unless you want to be a completionist and be someone that has knowledge of all the Carpenter films. Like, you could skip this one, but you know, some people are completionists. Like, I would have skipped this, and my fault to anyone, you know, watching this, and you know, we do and we entertain, but if I had researched this a little better, I would not have picked this film. I told Bob earlier this morning, I was like, if I had to watch this Monday, I would have pulled an audible. Like, we gotta do something else because, you know, I didn't watch it till last night. So now next day of the show, I can't just be like, oh, we gotta switch this up at the last minute. But
I mean, and to your point,
it is what it is.
It's about being honest. Be honest with your own eyes. Be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I would even appreciate more if someone said, you know, Amy, the movie's not great, but I'm a Sam Neill fan, and he acted his ass off in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, something. Yeah, give me something like that. Something else. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
Like
I said earlier, I think the movie's trash, but it had a great premise.
Yeah,
you know,
like for me personally, a lot of people that know me know I will give any M. Night Shyamalan movie a chance. But like we've talked about it many times, there are some that are really great, but the ones that are not great, I'm gonna cook them. You give me a chance to talk about them on this show or any other platform, I'm gonna cook it.
I take responsibility for this one, man, because I really would rather talk about things that I like. I don't want to turn this show into just a bag fest, because we could do all that all day. I could easily find a movie every week that we can to shit on.
There's just as many bad ones as there are good ones.
So that's my fault, man, for not, you know, having to. I thought it was Lord of the Illusions, and I think I remember liking that one, but I don't know.
But you know what this does do? What this does do? You know, we gonna stop raining on the parade. It shows we got range.
You know.
There's always a silver lining, man. Sometimes you just gotta look a little harder to find it.
Yeah,
man.
like I said, man, unless you're a completionist, you know, I would probably stay away from this one. It's not really worth your time. It's a lot more better films out there to watch in Carpenter's catalog and just in general, you know.
And you know, one thing that just didn't make any sense to me, the last gripe I'm gonna have about this. So when Sam Neill's character is in the mental institution, right? And the guy initially is like, hey man, is he going crazy? He was like, yeah, you know, go talk to him. He was like, did he make any requests? He was like, yes. He asked for one black crown. And then you go in there and my man, his whole room is drawn on, his face is drawn on, his shirt's drawn. What size was that crown? Because normally crowns are about this big. How the hell could you draw that much with one crown?
I don't know, bro.
Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
Hold up, you said crown or
crown? Like a crayon.
Oh, crayon.
Crayon.
I was like, crown.
Crayon. Yeah, a crayon. One black crayon.
Yeah. I was like, a crown. Like,
one black crayon.
And crowns they could draw?
Yes.
Crown Royal? What is it? What are you talking about? Like, okay, all right. Cause yeah, he did it. But how crayons can't write on skin? You see how
They also can't graffiti a whole cell.
he had his whole face mark. Yeah, man, it was crazy, bro. Yeah, maybe they just gave him the whole 64. It was like, yo, here, man,
We're gonna give you all the black crayons.
No one else is using. No one else is using these. Oh my god, yeah, man, we out of here, man. I think we can wrap this thing up, man. That has been John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. The crazy thing is, man, I'm mad that Del Toro's he was going to do the Lovecraft adaptation of
In the Mountain of Madness.
In the Mountain of Madness,
Yeah.
which this title borrows from. And people were looking forward to that, but I think Warner Brothers shut it down and never greenlit it. But there is some footage that he shot, I guess in an effort to get this thing made, that's out there on the internet if you want to check out. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, we out of here, man. Let's wrap this thing up.
Wrap this up.
This has been another episode of Classic Cinematics. You can check us at Classic Cinematics on Instagram. And we do have a Twitter handle now. So it's going to be CO Cinematics. At CO Cinematics on Twitter if you want to follow us there as well. You get some of the same stuff by putting the feed, the little clips I'm putting up, the little frames where I'm asking you to guess what movie this is, you know, in the effort just to keep your mind sharp. And if you got any suggestions, man, write in, man. Leave comments on these videos of films, you know, you want us to cover and check out too, man, you know. But that's it. You catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram as well.
And this is Bobby Blockbuster. As always, you can catch me on the next show.
All right, y'all. We out of here. Peace.